Hi guys, hello, welcome to this asynchronous lesson. Today we are looking at this lesson, so leisure time in the 21st century. In the previous lesson you might remember we looked at work habits in the 21st century. Yes, we looked at that Mexican family. What were their names? Oh, Maria was one of them. Dana, I think, was another one. And was it Laura? I think so. So we looked at their work habits in the 21st century, and today we're looking at leisure time in the 21st century. So the first thing to do is to head over to our course page and to do the quiz. Yeah, so we can find the quiz in even terms, in Unit 1, in leisure time, and there's a quiz there for us to do. Yeah, so please head over there, do that. There's important vocabulary in that quiz. Once you've done that, come back and we will continue. Okay? Let me open these for later. Right, okay, so today the skills focus is lecture language that signals a definition. Yeah? The lecturer might give us some complex ideas, maybe some complex new vocabulary, but we shouldn't panic because we can probably expect the lecturer to explain those ideas, explain that vocabulary. And they will do that with a definition, and before they give us the definition, they may well, or they probably will, signal that definition. Yeah, so expressions that signal a definition. So pizza, that is the bread with cheese and tomato. Yeah, by pizza I mean, what I mean by pizza is, and so on and so on. Let me turn off these printable characters, they're a bit distracting. Yeah. The lecturer might also do this. This is a useful technique. Asking a question is a way of signalling a definition. What do I mean by pizza? Well, I mean the flatbread with cheese and tomato. Yeah, so asking a question is a useful way to signal a definition. Yeah, so we've got some very, very useful language here. And of course, this is language that's not just useful for listening, it's useful if we are speaking. Yeah, if we are having to explain a complex idea or maybe some new vocabulary to people, we should give them a definition and we should signal the definition using some language like this. Yeah, so some very, very useful language. Have a look at this text. And here we've got some new vocabulary, we've got some signal language, and we've got a definition. So what I want you to do is circle the new language, yeah? So the new vocabulary, underline the lecture language that signals the definition, and put a box around the definition. Okay, so pause this video, go away and do that. So we've got vocab definition, vocab signal language and definition here, new vocab signal language and definition here, and we have new vocab signal language and definition here. Okay, so pause this video, go and do that, come back and I'll give you the answers. Okay, so here are the answers. So this is the new vocab, a piece of cake. What does that mean? Well, that is. So that's the language that signals the definition. And this is the definition, things that are not too challenging. Yeah? To fritter away their time, this comment should actually have the two. So to fritter away their time. What I mean by fritter away their time is, so this is the signal language, and this is the definition, waste their time. Thrifty, so this is the new vocab. By thrifty I mean, so this is the signal language, and they use their time carefully without wasting it. Yeah, so that's the definition. So some very clear examples here. Yeah, piece of cake, that is, things that are not too challenging. Yeah, so some very clear examples. Okay, well, let's go ahead and start listening. On the next page, listen to the practice lecture. So where can we find the practice lecture? We can actually find it in our lesson folder. So it's here, lecture1.mp3. So go ahead and listen to this. Match the name of each person with the leisure activity. Okay, so Lily, Marvin, Taka and Joe, what do they like doing? Do they like doing nothing, skateboarding, playing, watching football, or bungee jumping? Okay, go ahead and do that. The audio is about 2.5 minutes long, I think. Yeah, 2 minutes 11 seconds. Okay, so please go ahead and do that. Come back. I'll give you the answers. Okay, so Lily likes playing and watching football. Marvin likes bungee jumping. Taka likes skateboarding. And Joe likes doing nothing. Okay, nice and easy, that I think. Yeah, nothing too difficult there. Okay, now I want you to listen to the same audio again. And listen to it probably 2 times or maybe 3 times. Write down the lecture language you hear that signals a definition. Okay, so for example, some of this language, or maybe it's a question. Yeah? So write down the language you hear that signals a definition. Write down the lecture language, so this is the lecture language, yeah, that signals the definition. And then listen again and write down the definition that they give you. Okay, and the definitions can be quite long. They can be quite difficult to write down. So you might need to listen maybe 2 times or maybe 3 more times. Okay. Okay, so go ahead and do that. It will take you about maybe 7 minutes to do that. Take your time, do it, come back, and we'll talk about it together. Okay? Right, okay, so findings. So findings, this is the new vocabulary. So what does findings mean? Or. So this is very, very short signal language. Findings or the results. Okay, so the signal language is just or. Very, very short, very, very easy to miss. And this is the definition, the results. Yeah? So using or and then just giving a synonym. So this one is really quite difficult. Charisma. By charisma, I mean. So this is the signal language. Yeah? And the definition, the ability to attract other people and make them like you. Quite a long definition, that. Yeah? Very short word, quite a long definition. Definitions are quite long. Yeah? What is bungee jumping? So this is using a question to signal a definition. And here, a very long definition. It's a sport in which you jump off something very high with a rope that stretches tight to your legs, so you go up again without touching the ground. Yeah, quite a long definition. If you wrote down most of that, good job. Yeah, should be a full stop there. Fakie. What I mean by a fakie is, so very clear language that signals the definition. Yeah? And this is the definition. Standing on the skateboard facing forwards while the skateboard is moving backwards. Quite a long definition again. Yeah? Zilch. Zilch is the informal term. So this is all the kind of signal language. And the definition, very simple. It just means nothing. Okay, zilch means nothing. What did you do last night? Zilch. Yeah, nothing. Right, okay, so some very useful language this. Yeah, language that signals the definition. Really is quite useful. Okay, so let's head back over to our worksheets, to our booklet. Now, using abbreviations. So some more skills work and note-taking strategy. Writing down those definitions can be difficult. There's so many words, it comes so quickly. Yeah. So it would be really useful if we can use some abbreviations to help us. Yeah. And these abbreviations can be whatever you want. These are personal to you. Yeah. So if you just want to use, I just use P for page. Yeah. I.e., in other words, if something is important, I just underline it. I don't use imp. So these abbreviations can be whatever you want them to be. They can be very personal. Yeah. Let's take a look at some notes that your teachers have taken. Let me download this. And let me download this. And let me save that. So here are some notes that your teachers have taken. So that's my notes. It's my notes again. There we go. Okay, so ES, I think that means especially. Not enough T to relax. So T here just means time. So using this hash means number one value. PL, I think people. Leisure T, so T for time again. Yeah. PL, so people again. W with a slash means I think with. Yeah, so greater than or results in. Relaxation time. Yeah, so we can see lots of short language here. But what's important is these notes are not beautiful. They're not beautiful at all. And if we look at some others, or these are mine, yeah, not at all beautiful. But they don't need to be beautiful to you. I can read them. I can use them if I need to use them. Yeah, so make more efficient. Read about it in, what is that? Is that book? Take photos slowly. Next site. So e.g. So not beautiful, but most of the detail is here. Yeah, hurried at work, tired at home. So using this at symbol. Yeah, I like using this. Let me move myself out of the way. So here, not decision making required. So I use this exclamation mark to mean no decision making required. Yeah. So not beautiful notes, but I can use them and I wrote them, so that's all that's important. Your lecturer, your professor, is never going to look at your notes. Yeah. Now, where's my handout gone? Now imagine that this is what you hear. Can you write this down using some short language, using some symbols and some abbreviations? Okay, so try to do this. Try to write this down. Imagine that this is what you listen to. Can you write this down without losing any meaning? Using some abbreviations, using some symbols, and try to do that for all four of these. Yeah? What I should have said about these notes, you'll notice there's no beautiful grammar here. Yeah, so there's a lot of content words. Make more efficient. Yeah? Watch TV and surf internet. Watch TV and surf the internet. Okay, so there's no beautiful grammar here. Likewise in these other notes. Low energy, no brainer. Choices, number one, watching TV 4 hours a day. No beautiful grammar at all. Yeah? Escape from busy world. It's all content words. There's none of this fluffy grammar language. Yeah? And that's important because we just don't have time to write down all of this fluffy grammar language. Okay, so try to do that. It's a useful task. It's much easier to do when we can read, yeah, because in a minute we're going to start listening and it gets quite difficult. Yeah? Okay, so when you've tried that, now we are ready to watch the lecture and take notes. Okay, maybe your notes will look more beautiful than this. Maybe they will look more complete. Maybe they will look less complete. Okay, your notes are very personal, very individual. The more information we can write down, the better. Yeah. So watch the lecture. Where is the lecture? It's probably in our media album. Leisure. Here we go. And it's probably about 10 minutes long. I think 9 minutes, 9 minutes 52 seconds. Okay. So watch the lecture. Take some notes. Maybe you need to watch the lecture 2 times, maybe 3 times. Yeah, maybe you need to pause it and go back. That's fine. Take your time, write some notes. Then, when you've done that, try to answer the questions. Yeah. When you've done that, come back here and we will check the answers together. Okay. Okay, so before the lecturer starts talking about leisure time, what does he talk about? So let's first look briefly at how people spend their time at work. So he's kind of reviewing the previous lesson. Yeah, so what does he talk about first? He talks about how people spend their time at work. Yeah. What specific part of leisure time does this lecture focus on? What specific part of leisure time? Today, we'll look at some current ways in which people who work organise their leisure time. So, how people who work organise their leisure time. Yeah, so we know the topic is about leisure time, but more specifically, it's about how people who work organise their leisure time. Yeah. Why does the lecture highlight efficiency? He highlights efficiency because in workplaces, efficiency is the #1 value. Being efficient at work is very important. So that is how people try to also organise their leisure time. They're efficient at work, so they try to be efficient at their leisure. Yeah, so instead of reading books and taking photos, it's more common to drive around with your video camera out of the bus, yeah, non-stop. So, 2 contrasting ways you might see a famous site. Okay, so we've touched on it slightly, yeah? So you might read the book, you might take photos, you might stop and explore. And the second way, you might, yeah, just hold your camera out of the bus as the bus drives past. And my notes, going to the next site. Yeah. And the difference, you can see more. Yeah, you can see more with way 2, but it's kind of less quality. Yeah, you're not really exploring and getting to know what you're seeing in as much detail. What example of multitasking does the lecturer give? Well, I think this is from my notes. So we watch TV and we surf the internet at the same time. Yeah, and I think this is becoming more and more common now. Watching TV and surfing the internet at the same time. What is the effect of multitasking on leisure time? The effect of multitasking on leisure time. Well, the effect is that you're able to fit 11 hours of leisure activities into 7 hours of actual leisure time. So basically, by multitasking, we can spend our time more effectively. We can do more. Whether we're actually doing more is questionable because you can't watch TV and surf the internet together. I mean, you're only looking at one of them at a time. Yeah? But by multitasking, we can feel like we are doing more. What did the survey by the American Journal find? And what effect does it have? Yeah. So they found some interesting things. They found that people are hurried at work and they're tired at home. Hurried at work and tired at home. So what effect does this have? It means that you choose a low energy leisure time. For example, just watching TV. Yeah? When you're tired at home, you don't feel like going for a walk. You don't feel like climbing up that hill. You don't feel like taking the bicycle out. You feel like just sitting in front of the TV and watching some rubbish. Yeah. So that's the effect. Favorite low energy activity? Watching TV. So yeah, so just sit and watch TV. Do I have any statistics here? So 4 hours a day. Yeah, so sit and watch 4 hours of TV a day. Yeah. Now be careful, time spent a week. So 4 times 7 equals 21 hours per week. Yeah, be careful here. How does the lecture define couch potato? So we're listening. So here, what do I mean by couch potato? So language that signals a definition. Couch potatoes are people who just want to sit on the couch and do nothing but watch TV and escape. Yeah. So quite a long definition. If we can use our abbreviations and our symbols, that will help us. Maybe we know what couch potato is, so we don't actually need the definition from the lecturer. Yeah. What are the two contrasting ways of spending leisure time? Okay, so the two contrasting ways. So, some people like to spend their leisure time like they work, very efficiently. Rush, rush, rush. Going from this place to this place to this place. Photo, photo, photo. Other people like to withdraw and actually just relax. Sit on the beach for 2 weeks. Yeah, sit and do nothing. Yeah. So two very contrasting approaches to leisure time. Yeah? Rush, 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 must do everything, or sit on the beach and actually not do very much at all. Yeah? Write down the utterance. Now, okay, so we've checked our answers to that. There is some dictation on our course page. We should listen and write down those utterances. Let me just find those for you. So the dictations we can find in our lesson folder. Leisure time. So dictation, just one dictation? Yes, just one dictation. Yeah, so listen to this. Write down exactly what you hear. You've got some space here. Come back and I'll give you the answers, and then we're finished. Okay, so here are your answers. Spelling is important, punctuation is important. Yeah. If you got most of that, very good job. Yeah, this is a very useful skill, being able to listen and write down exactly what we hear. Yeah. Right, guys. Okay, well, that's this lesson, leisure time in the 21st century. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed it, please like this video. If you haven't enjoyed it, please dislike this video. Yeah. And please leave a comment for me to read. All right, guys, well, I'll see you next time. And in the next lesson, we might be looking at understanding overfishing. Okay, bye for now.